Welcome to Show Your Love A2. I am your host, Melissa Bondi. Ann Arbor's diverse group of independent restaurants, retail shops, artists, and services are what make our community so unique. With new things to see and do all the time on a regular basis here in Ann Arbor, the Ann Arbor Hands-On Museum, which specializes in interactive exhibits with the goal of helping both children and adults discover the scientists within them by promoting science literacy through experimentation, exploration, and education. And I am excited to have with me today Mel Drum, President and CEO of the Ann Arbor Hands-On Museum, which is located right in the heart of downtown. Welcome today to the show.
It's a pleasure to be with you, Melissa. Thank you so much for the invitation.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. As we're just getting this show rolled out, I was excited that you're one of my new guests. So I've been to the Hands-On Museum. It's amazing. I took my daughter there a few years ago. Actually, she was pretty young. We had a blast. She was, I think, 3 at the time. So, it's a little disheartening. Obviously we hear hands-on in these trying times, and it's kind of like, oh, hands-on. Okay. So obviously you've made some changes there as to what you're offering now and how you're offering it. Do you want to give us a little bit about, what's changed?
Oh, it's my pleasure. The museum has been just a beloved community organization since 1982. And, hands-on has always been our hallmark. I mean, you touch everything, you're there in a very social context, you have people around you shoulder to shoulder. We were always so proud of having so many people there, and people loved it. I mean, it was more of a social experience than even the science, technology, engineering, and math experience. But when COVID came, obviously the words hands-on suddenly felt a little, well, I guess what I would use, toxic. So we had to regroup. Everybody has had to go through, and the word that I can't stand using anymore is pivot, but everyone really had to figure that out. Fortunately, the museum for many, many years had been working in the virtual space doing what we call distance learning programs that were being delivered locally, regionally, and frankly, all over the world. So unlike a lot of our colleagues, we were prepared. We have studios built in the buildings that are ready to deliver programming. So we very quickly moved into that space. I mean, everything from our summer camp going virtual to programs for members and programs for the community, people that have been involved all along. We met so many new people along the way. And, the most impressive thing is we have this most resilient staff, and they just jumped right in and said, okay, how do we continue to serve people? Because the museum is really for kids of all ages, whether you're at the museum or at the Leslie Science and Nature Center or any of our other affiliate locations that we have with us.
Right. And that sounds like it had been, it sounds like it would have been it is a challenge, but it sounds like you were very much on top of it from what you just said. So do you see, going forward now, how, like the virtual programs, is that what's going on currently?
We are working very, very much in the virtual space. We've also started to resume programming over at Leslie Science and Nature Center. Thankfully, outdoor programming. It's a little cold right now, but we're still starting some programming there. Our group sizes are all much smaller. And at the museum, we continue to offer our virtual programs. I mean, frankly, right now, as schools are starting to come back online, whether you're in school or whether you're in a virtual program, all over the country, we are booking dozens of programs a week where we're delivering our STEM programs or our nature programs into schools all over the country and throughout Canada. So that's really, really nice to see happening. So we're reaching kids. Even in this crazy virtual world. I mean, I think we're pretty good at it. We typically will send out kits to the school so they actually have materials so we can continue the hands-on piece, which is good. And at the museum, we're actually starting to slowly reopen. We've been doing programs for members that started, in the last week or so. And those programs allow a group of 25 or less to come in and basically rent the museum for an hour and a half. So they get a very private, very safe, very clean kind of experience. And then as we go into the next couple of months, we are optimistic that we'll be able to add more days and hopefully add, more public days as well so that we can serve the demand. I mean, the minute we announced we had dates open, we were sold out. We're in the process of summer camp too. Our summer camp was basically sold out the minute it was announced. And we can only do a fraction of what we normally do because of COVID requirements.
Right. That's funny that you mentioned summer camps because I've already started looking at that myself, and it's only February. So,
Right.
and they're going to sell out because it's summer coming and the weather's going to change for the better. And people want to get involved. And like you said, this is a beloved place. And people, frequent. And I'm sure it's one of those places that was a dagger to the heart when it closed. And I think a lot of your members may have thought, oh my gosh, will they survive? How will they survive? But you guys have done an amazing job. And I know you wanted to make mention of the members, of your members and the community and some of the organizations that support you.
Right. They're the people that have kept us alive for the last year. I mean, imagine Dagger to the Heart is a really good example. I mean, Friday the 13th. I mean, we all joke about Friday the 13th, but we
Right.
closed on Friday the 13th,
Yeah.
in March. And, we were coming into our prime season. In prime season, we'd see 500 to 1,000 people a day coming through the
Oh,
building.
wow.
Much
Wow.
like retailers that look at the holidays as being their big period, we were coming into our peak period for generating revenue, for bringing kids in, for hitting our attendance numbers. And as an organization where about 75% of our operating budget comes through people paying fees to come through the door or buying a membership or buying our programming,
Mhm.
suddenly going from that many people to zero. I mean, it was crushing in a word. But whenever there's something that goes wrong, there's always something that goes right at the same
Mhm.
time. So the community stepped up, our members stepped up. There are more than 8,500 member families that believe in this
Oh, wow.
organization, and they have stayed with us this entire time, realizing they can't come in, they can't really do anything, and they have held with us. I mean, the most amazing people. And then in the community too, whether it's us or any other nonprofit, the support, the love, it's humbling what the community has helped us get through, helped us keep our staff as much as possible on board. And we unfortunately lost the majority of our staff. We lost about 60%
Oh,
of our
wow.
incredibly talented team because we just couldn't carry them without the revenue. So I mean, it's been so tough, but people have been there with us. They've helped us. They've reached out. It's the most incredible community that I've ever worked in.
Mm, absolutely. Yes. And obviously, we did this show and to showcase that because I believe it's important. And yeah, absolutely. What do you see, Mel? Like, you mentioned the summer and the summer camps and things are going to start, they're going to start changing. They'll start changing for the better. And it's on the horizon. So we all know this. What do you see going forward, things at the hands-on museum looking like going forward? Yeah.
It's going to look all new, which is really wonderful. So again, where's the silver lining in every problem? The silver lining for us was that we've had time over the last 11 months to reinvest, to update, to repair, to build new exhibits. I mean, people are always asking for new exhibits.
Hmm.
As your viewers will imagine, we have so many kids in the building normally trying to take something out and rebuild it. It's almost impossible to do because there are kids everywhere. But since we've been closed, we've reinvested. We put in a wonderful new exhibit gallery that we call All About You. It is all about health and wellness through play, and it's a beautiful brand new exhibit. It's $1 million investment for the museum, one of our largest projects ever. It covers the entire first floor of our historic firehouse. And you walk in, the exhibits are all fresh, they're all new. These are exhibits that the kids in our region, and frankly, the kids of all ages, have never experienced.
Yeah,
They
that's
are
cool.
absolutely fascinating.
Oh,
And
that's
then
so
as you walk
cool.
out of that space, you walk into other areas of the building that have been equally updated. And by the time we reopen this summer, we're also going to have a brand new exhibit on the second floor of our historic building that is a whole new engineering gallery looking at the whole inside out world of engineering. So we're confident that when we do have people walking back through the doors, they're going to say,
Sure.
oh my gosh, all the great things are still here, but look what they've done to make it better.
Right. Yes, the silver lining. Absolutely, Mel. That's great. I'm looking forward to attending, once we're ready and you're ready. So it's exciting. Yeah.
And it's
Um,
not just the museum. We also have our Leslie Science and Nature Center where we've been investing over there too. If
sure.
people are out and about, they're going to notice there's been some construction at the Leslie site. We're putting in this absolutely remarkable outdoor playscape. And it's a long, wonderful limestone trail that goes across the grounds. And over the next year and a half, there's going to be a whole series of wonderful outdoor experiences that kind of, echo what we're doing at the Hands-On Museum, but, a nature and environmental twist over there.
Ah, that's amazing. I did talk with Leslie back in the summer, and I was excited that things were still moving along with them and in a different fashion, but it was good to hear. Yeah, and I know they were still doing tours and stuff over there.
Great.
People could still come in. That was neat. That was good to hear. Okay, Mel, well, thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to mention before we wrap up? It sounds like there are, like you said, good things on the horizon for the Ann Arbor Hands-On Museum. I'm excited for you guys.
Just a huge thank you to everyone that's believed in us for all of these years, the people that have been on staff, on our board, the community members, the donors, our partners. I mean, we have multiple partners across the region, and this is going to be a really interesting year for us. And now we think it's going to be a really good year. We're going to be opening new facilities at our Port Huron location. We're in a deep partnership with the Yankee Air Museum. We have our Leslie programming, hands-on programming. We think, even though we've been around since 1982, we think we're just getting started.
That's great to hear. That's so good. I love the positive attitude. That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
And again, we want you to eat, drink, shop Ann Arbor and help us preserve the personality and the spirit of Ann Arbor by showing your love to the community. And you can visit a2gov.org/CTN for more great programs. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at #CTN Ann Arbor for everything Ann Arbor and more. Thanks for watching.